Welcome to Reading Through the Bible with Foluke. I'm Foluke. I have my mug of water. It is water. I would have let you thought it was hot chocolate, cocoa, coffee. But I put some water in here for refreshing. So my voice continues. Thank you. Today we are going to read chapter 7 of Genesis. It's getting really good. Later on, I'm going to unpack it all, the different layers of what is happening with Noah and what all of it symbolizes. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, let's get into the word. Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. So 100 years has passed since his sons were born, right? He was 500 years old when he had my goodness gracious, I'm about to butcher their names right now. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And he's built the ark, and God has told him in 1 week, 7 days, the waters will start. That's where we left off. Noah was 600 years old when the flood covered the earth. He went on board the boat to escape the flood. He and his wife and his sons and their wives with them were all the various kinds of animals, those approved for eating and for sacrifice, and those that were not, along with all the birds and the small animals that scurry along the ground. They entered the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God had commanded Noah. After 7 days, the waters of the flood came and covered the earth. Now, I thought that was so cool. It seems to me that these animals just came. I've seen different movies depict this scene, and I think it's just so beautiful because it did not say that Noah had to go hunting for these animals. He did not have to convince them. He did not have to capture them. None of that, right? This is such a beautiful thing that this is a time where the animals simply came. When Noah was 600 years old, same year, right? On the 17th day of the second month, 17th day of the second month, all the underground waters erupted from the earth, and the rain fell in mighty torrents from the sky. The rain continued to fall for 40 days and 40 nights. Now, if you remember in the creation story, as we read it, something stood out to me that had not stood out to me before, and that was the fact that when God created the earth, it said that there was waters over the face of the earth. And darkness covered the face of the earth, right? So there was water before God ever created, before God separated night from light, or darkness from light, and the sky from the waters and the land. Water already existed. God didn't have to create water. He simply separated the water, right? The waters above from the waters below. So when I read this some time ago, I did a little research on, there's water underground. I had not read that before or noticed it, but it's true. Science confirms the Bible again and again. But God said it first, whether science confirmed it or not, it doesn't matter. It existed. But there's water underground. So the fact that God tells us this, how would Moses have known to write this, right? Like, they didn't have any way of confirming that water comes from underground. At least I don't know, not the scientific ways that we have. But it's amazing. There literally is water underground. So what happened is God brought rain from above ground, from the sky, and it's pounding. It's already bad. But then 17 days into it, I believe it's 17 days, on the 17th day of the second month, all the underground waters came up, okay, erupted from the earth, not like a volcano eruption or water eruption. So if you didn't die from the waters pouring below, you're about to drown from the waters coming from above. If you didn't die from the waters coming from above, you are going to drown from the waters erupting from below. There was no avoiding water. But I just love the scientific proof, confirmation that God has here. The rain continued to all to fall for 40 days and nights. That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boats were pairs of every kind of animal. It's kind of like we're skipping back and forth, back and forth. Before they went in the boat, they're on the boat. It's raining, 7 days in, and now we're getting in the boat again, right? There's a reason why God is trying to emphasize something, like he's drilling in. What is he drilling into? Why? That very day, Noah had gone into the boat with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. Okay, he's repeating this too, so we understand who's on this boat. It's Noah. He's the righteous one, and God has referred to him as being the only righteous. But you know the beauty of God, the loving kindness of God? God doesn't leave us alone. So Noah, because Noah was righteous, guess who also got saved? But it wasn't an automatic saving. So this is not me preaching some kind of theology that if you're saved, all of your children and your spouse are saved automatically. That is not at all what I'm saying. No way. But God did not, the one thing he said that was not good was for man to be alone. So in saving Noah, God showed grace and mercy to his wife and children and their wives, because those young men were married, so that means that they were united. And it also meant that Noah was united. Noah was one with his wife, so God couldn't separate them. God couldn't, well, Noah, you're righteous. That chick, I don't know. God's like, y'all together. It's a pair. And the same with his sons. They were united with their wives. It's a pair. They come too. Okay. All right. With them in the boats were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, large and small, along with the birds of every kind. Now, by the way, God, I think, expects us to use our brains. The whales and the sea creatures were not on the boat. That's my guess. I'm just thinking that God's like, they have their domain. It's in the water. They're good. You don't need to rescue them because you're going to kill them if you put them in the ark. So when he says that every creature with some intelligence, we can deduct that means every land and air creature. And the reason why the sky creatures needed to be in the boat is because the birds would not have a place to land for 40 days or longer, right? So God needed to rescue them and put them in the ark. But the animals that swim in the sea, you're going to be okay in the sea. The water's not going to kill you. You'll be fine. Okay, so with them in the boats were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, large and small, along with birds of every kind. 2 by 2, they came into the boat, representing every living thing that breathes. A male and a female of each kind entered, just as God had commanded Noah. Then the Lord closed the door behind them. Oh, I'm going to get into this later when we unpack it. So beautiful. For 40 days, the flood waters grew deeper, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the waters rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely on the surface. Just floated. It didn't need to go anywhere in particular, It literally was simply to protect them. What was the destination? Survival. Finally, that could be the name of a movie. Sorry, my mind just went there. Destination Survival. Ooh. Finally, the water covered even the highest mountains on the earth, rising more than 22 feet above the highest peaks. All the living things on earth died. All. Birds, domestic animals, wild animals, small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the people. Again, our deductive reasoning, God really does think that we're intelligent because he gave us brains. When he says all the living things on the earth, it means land, right? Again, not the seas. All the living things on the earth died. Birds, domestic animals, wild animals, small animals that scurry along the ground. And all the people because they're land animals. Land people. I know I shouldn't call us animals. Everything that breathed and lived on dry land. There you go. See, confirmation. Everything that lived and breathed on dry land died. God wiped out every living thing on the earth. People, livestock, small animals that scurry along the ground, and the birds of the sky. All were destroyed. The only people who survived were Noah and those with him in the boat. And we've emphasized the people that were with him. A total of 8. Noah, his wife. Shem, his wife. Ham, his wife. And Japheth, his wife. I think I did that right. Noah, Shem, Ham, Japheth. Times 2. 8. I'm going to stop here. We're going to continue next time with what happened after they've been in the boat and it's raining and 40 days have passed. How much longer, God? What's your game plan? Maybe God shared that with Noah. Maybe he didn't. What we know is that Noah was obedient to it all, and that God showed grace to his wife and his children and their wives. God is a gracious God, even when we don't deserve it. All right. Till next time, you're reading through the Bible with Foluke.